What's up, guys? So, about 35 minutes ago, I happened to be navigating the wonderful world of Twitter, and I saw the story of this one guy from Texas who was out going to a shop getting vape supplies, and suddenly his electronic pen just exploded in his face, and the pieces or whatever just flew in a way that it hit like an artery in his neck, and he ended up dying. And then after that, I saw a story about how Hawaii is considering raising their legal age to smoke to 100 years. So, like, you have to be a centenarian to be able to smoke. And when I thought about it, I'm like, that is pretty freaky because as I was scrolling through my list of videos to make, I saw the one about smoking and I fixated on it and I said, have I really not ever made a video about how I feel about smoking? And then I searched my channel and lo and behold, I don't have it. And I'm like, holy crap, let's get into it. But I thought it was kind of freaky that something that I was thinking about, I happened to see stuff about. But anyways, so how do I feel about smoking? Hello, Holger, I see you. Um, well, for starters, as you can probably guess and imagine, I'm not a fan of it. I have never smoked. I don't care for smoking because I think that it stinks, first of all. And I also have asthma, which means that ever since I was a kid, I always had problems with breathing, and that is something that definitely does not facilitate my breathing. So, why would I pick up that habit if I know that it is harmful for me without even being involved in it? So sometimes I happen to be in a place where I fall victim to secondhand smoke, and I hate it so much because it's like I can be going about my day and all of a sudden it hits me. It's like the smell just hits me and then my lungs start to act up. Unfortunately, nowadays my lungs are like stronger since I exercise, I guess. But there was a time in which the the smallest sniff, it could seriously, like, it felt like my passage breathing passages would just completely shut off and I just could not breathe. I would literally be like gasping for air. And now as an adult, it's like my feeling is there to feel like I'm choking on that smoke, but I don't react to it as bad. But if I can detect that someone in the vicinity is like smoking or I spot them from a distance, I try to take like the longer way around them or something just to avoid it. So the last time I sniffed secondhand smoke was when I was heading toward the library and there was someone out there by the sidewalk smoking, and I was like, oh god damn it. But anyways, usually I try to hold my breath, but when you're walking, that's kind of difficult to do because you're physically doing something and that limits your breathing capacity, like your lung capacity when you're holding your breath. But I personally just don't get it. I don't get what's the appeal about smoking. It doesn't have any nutrients. It doesn't make you look cool. It stinks and it is known to make you sick. Like, it doesn't smell right. So, what makes you think that charbroiling your lungs is just a cool thing to do? I guess I should read the history of how smoking became a habit in the first place because I'm really curious. I'm genuinely curious as to what got people into doing that. But I just, I don't need to try it to know that I am not going to like it. Like the sole fact that I can smell it from a distance and it's just a terrible experience, I just absolutely detested. And then it also doesn't help that I lost one of the most important people in my life to lung cancer, and that was my maternal grandfather. So he had been smoking forever. I mean, if I remember right, I was told that he had been smoking since he was like 13, 14, 15. So he died when he was like in his mid 60s. So I think that's pretty impressive. I don't want to just sit here and say, oh, as soon as you smoke, you're gonna die, within 10 years. Because clearly, some people have resistance for that more than others. But but honestly, I just saw his health declining, and it was sudden. Like, this is a strong man, and to see him just completely devastated by this disease, it was really tough on me to be witnessing that. Like, he did not look to me what I was used to seeing him as. Like he just lost a lot of weight because he couldn't eat like he was used to, and just it was tough. And then after that, I said, not that I needed any convincing to stay away from smoking, but that absolutely did it for me. So some people say that it makes someone look hotter, or it makes them more cool or appealing. No, to me, having like something rolled up in paper and then stick it in your mouth, and you blow some smoke, and like, it's just not cute. It's not, it doesn't enhance your appearance at all. Like, I've never looked at a guy and been like, ah, you know what, that mother effer right there, he's smoking, he's so hot, I want him. Like, no, quite the opposite. Knowing that you smoke, it's like, what would kissing that guy be like? That's gonna be a god awful experience. I would imagine that it's like you trying to like place your lips over an ashtray. There's no way that that can be nice. But maybe it's not exactly like that. But you're going to have the scent of smoke in you, and even after you're done smoking, you still have that scent. It's on your clothes. It's in your breath. I just don't like that. Like, I know people who smoke, and every time they walk past me, I can tell that they just came back from smoking. And I'm like, if it works for you, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do. Like, just because I think that, say, everyone should exercise and maintain like a certain weight for your health, I'm not sitting here pushing you to do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. So if you don't want to quit smoking, even though you know it's bad for you, that's up to you. But it's just something weird. I just cannot find it appealing, and I don't need to try it to know that I'm not gonna like it. And I just wish I knew why people do it. So anyways, guys, enough from me. Let me see what you guys are saying. It's a disgusting habit. The smoke gets in your hair, your clothes, everywhere. Yeah, and not only that, but I would imagine that when you start smoking at a young age, that mug has had to like stunt your growth some type of way. And I would imagine that your focus and mood is not the same because you're being like deprived from oxygen. So yeah, there's just no way that can be a good thing. It just doesn't seem like a good thing. Hey, Jordan. Ooh, by the way, Jordan, I had a like deja vu moment with you, because the moment you showed me that footage of like snow, I had the thought of someone waving at me. And then I happened to go back to Twitter, and then I see that, and I'm like, holy crap. It's like I was able to, just like I was saying that I was looking at my notes to see which video to write about, and I had the smoking one in mind. I saw the story of that guy who had an e-cig explode in his face. And then I also saw the story of Hawaii trying to increase their minimum age for you to be allowed to smoke to 100. And it's like I have been just feeling things before things happen. So I thought I would share that with you because I thought it was interesting. But yeah, it was interesting. Not to mention, it is expensive. Many smokers spend thousands a year on something that harms them and stinks. Yeah, and on top of that, the cost that it will incur for you to get medical assistance, because at some point that thing is going to get to you. And then on top of that, this thing is addictive, which means that if you start it and you decide that you don't like it anymore, somehow you cannot let go of the habit. And that's another thing. Some people claim that they smoke because it helps them feel better. And I'm like, how can you claim that such a habit is really that good for you when if you don't smoke at your designated time every day, you get all jittery and you're shaking and whatnot? That cannot be healthy. You are dependent on that thing. It's like that thing is just taking over your thoughts. You become a completely different person if you don't have a smoke. Just like you become a completely different person when you don't have your coffee. Like there's some people out there who say I cannot start my day without coffee. Like I guess cigarettes have their own little substance to where it controls your mind like that, you know? So there's just no way that such a habit can be healthy. If you become dependent on that, I don't think that's a good thing, like at all. Smoking is known to age you faster. That too. Your skin looks darker and puffy. You look tired and just beat up. So, yeah, so for that, some people say that it might make you look cool. And I'm like, no, it's not cool to age prematurely. So I'm glad you mentioned that. How did I fail to mention that earlier? Cigarettes being people since cigarettes came out. Way back in the day, people didn't know cigarettes can kill people. I'm sorry about your grandfather. My father stopped smoking since 1990. Thank God. You know what? Now that I think about it, that's true. I tend to forget that the stuff that's common knowledge now, at some point, it isn't even far back in history. At some point, people didn't know that those things were harmful for them. So I'm glad you say that because I tend to really let that fly over my head. But it's kind of weird though. It's just that when I was a kid, before I was told that smoking was bad, I just hated it. So I would imagine that someone felt upset by the smell of cigarette smoke. Like some people may be as sensitive to it as I am because of asthma, say. So at some point, for someone, it had to occur. You know what, dude? Every time you smoke that thing, I feel sick. So maybe this is not such a good idea. We should explore it. But anyways, that I know that depending on the times, that's not really how thinking is done. But it's strange. I guess something like that must have prompted people to investigate and see the effects of this thing, you know? Let's see. Where am I at? Shoot, I lost my place. Oh, okay, there we are. Kissing someone who smokes is like licking an ashtray. Oh, just to say, imagine. Cigarettes cost so much, $7.99. More reason the government won't shut it down because cigarettes are making billions of dollars. Oh, absolutely. And yeah, now that you mentioned that, the other day I was at Walmart and while waiting at customer service for to be helped, I was looking at the prices, and I remember when them mugs used to be like $3. Then they used to be $4. Now the cheapest pack that I saw was like 4.89, and then the other ones were 5, 6, $7, and I'm like, that is not necessarily a cheap habit either. So if you're someone who is tight on money, you shouldn't do that. It's like it makes me think of makeup. It's like I sit there and consider how much I save by not using any. And I'm like, wow, there is just no way that 3 years ago or 4 years ago, the situation that I was going through, If I had makeup as a priority in my life, I would not have been able to afford it. Or I would have had to choose between that and food, and you better believe that I would have never given up food because I know what my values are, you know? But yeah, yeah, interesting stuff. Let's see, where am I at? Garuda says smoke weed every day. You see, weed is a different story though, because I hear that it can actually be medicinal. I'm not sure that smoking it is the way to go because smoke, smoke has that effect on your lungs no matter what. It's like when you grow something and it becomes black and broiled and just all like carbony, that cannot be good for you. Like that charcoal taste to it, little bits, it's okay because I have heard of something called activated charcoal. So in small doses, apparently that is a good thing for you. But in excess, that cannot be a good thing for you. You know, it just doesn't look and taste right for it to be a good thing. God bless your grandfather's memory. I appreciate that. Great cover photo. You know what I consider to do to make it silly. I thought about taking a piece of paper and rolling it up and then pretending to have something, but I said, nah, I don't need to have that drama in my life just yet. But I'm glad you like it. Oh, there is so much snow that day last week, and yes, I am sorry that man. And cigarettes suck. They don't even get you high, but make you sick anyway. True. Like I said, I don't know anything beneficial about it. So if only you were getting like this special nutrient, okay, it may be worth the sacrifice. But I mean, all the crazy ingredients that are in that thing. Like when I was in seventh grade, some of the ingredients that I remember, hopefully I remember right, but it must be because it shocked me so much. It was like I hear that the ingredient that is in, I guess, tarmac, like tar, that stuff that's in there. Like that's pretty much the road that we drive over, and it also has stuff like the thing that is a nail polish remover, like acetone. So when I heard that, I was like, this is something that my body doesn't need. I doubt that is something that it needs. So now that I'm older and I have a better understanding of ingredients, I should probably look it up and refresh my memory. But those two ingredients just stood out to me for some reason. And when I thought about it, I'm like, how is it possible for you to fit so many components, elements, ingredients, junk into something? It really blew my mind back in the day. It really, really did. Where am I at? Cigarettes. Okay, that's where I'm at. Cigarettes will make a person's teeth messed up. Oh my god. Yes! I know two people specifically who their mouth, every time they talk, it's so distracting for me because like their teeth are yellow and on some spots they're black. And yeah, it's shocking. It's really shocking to look at because these people, they, when I met them, they were not even in their 40s yet. Okay? And like my mother is like, she is an older lady and her teeth do not look like that. She's never messed with it. I would expect to see those symptoms in an older person, but in a younger person, just no, that is shocking, you know? But yeah, it's shocking. It's just shocking for me. I smoke and don't spend thousands in a year. Cigarettes can burn the house down falling asleep. You know what? Good point. I have heard of stories where a single cigarette butt that was not like, what is it? Just drowned in like whatever, turned off. What do you call that? The word just slipped me. Anyways, properly disposed of. It was still lit for some reason, and then it maybe there was paper on like a trash can or something, and then it set it ablaze, and then that fire spread, and you come back, and your house is like burned down. Or like you said, you could be sleeping, and then next thing you know, you have an emergency on your hands. That's just insane. Just insane. Uh, Weed is the worst. I never did smoke. Smoke was not to be in a person's lungs. Smoking does not make you age. It is a myth. I was smoking from age 15, and people still tell me I look young even at 32. Well, just like I mentioned the aspect about my grandfather beginning to smoke since he was like 15ish, and him living until age 60. How old were you, Gramps? 67? You know, clearly some people have better genetics. Some people have better predispositions for some things. Like, there are people who really conserve themselves well. It's like a genetic trait. And it also seems like certain races also tend to do better with aging. Like, there's a saying about black don't crack, and when I think about it, it's so true because most people who are like brown and dark complexion, I am very often shocked by how some people reveal to me that they're like pushing 60, and I'm like, nah, you look like you're in your at most pushing 40, but not 60. So I think it comes down to your genetics, definitely. Um, and there's some stuff that some people are going to react to in a more negative way than others. So some people can get away with, say, having a bad diet and smoking and doing all kinds of crap. Nothing happens to them. But there are people who they for a few months they have that bad habit and their body just rejects it and they may succumb to it. So I guess you're lucky. You must have like good genetics going on for you to where you can still look young. But yeah, um, at some point though, your body may start breaking down and betray you. Like I hear of someone, like I have a friend who has a friend who was known for having a so-called invincible metabolism to where they were always skinny, even if they ate like their entire refrigerator. And now that they're like in their 30s, it's not the same anymore. So, yep. Oops, I pushed something I wasn't supposed to. Where am I at? Weed smells like a skunk nowadays. Cigarettes are what? $10 per pack. $2 per pack a day times 365 days is $7,300 per year. Yeah, that is insane. That if you're someone who makes what fewer than, let's say, $20,000 because you have like a part-time job or something, that is definitely going to do some damage to your finances, you know. um and even if you are a full-time worker, let's say that you have some kind of average job, you know, to where you make maybe $24,000 a year, yeah, that's definitely going to dent your finances. It would for me, that's for damn sure. um yeah, good point. A pack where I live is $6. Not everyone smokes 2 packs per day. I spend maybe at best $100 a year on six. You know what? Now that I think about it, that's another thing. Some people smoke packs per day. You know, it's like this habit just really gets to you. It really gets to you. And you just keep going and keep going. And I personally just don't know what it's like to have an addiction like that, to where I need to have like a pack on me all the time and carry around a lighter and just whatever it is that it's done, you know, to light a cigarette. It's It's crazy. On top of that, you need the lighter as well. How fast do you burn through a lighter? Like, do you need one every week, every month, every 6 months? You know, I want to know things like that. Let's see. Where am I at? Alberto says, hi. Hi. Six, help me calm my nerves. I have heard that. I have heard that before. However, do you feel jittery and all nervous if you don't have cigarettes? Like, are you incredibly addicted? I'm not trying to pick on you. It's just I've never really had a conversation with someone about their smoking habits. So I would really like to know what it's like for you to be hooked into it. Some people cannot control it at all. Like, their addiction is just real. Is everybody who smokes addicted? Like, do you become addicted no matter what? Or is that something that only happens to some people? Can you survive on smoking just one cig a day? Like, how does that work for you? I'm curious now. Um, Great Trump State of the Union speech tonight. I guess I'll have to catch up with the highlights of that. And it makes your voice sound like a goblin with that gross smoker's cough. You know what? That is so true. For women, particularly, their voices tend to get lower pitch. It's kind of bizarre to listen to. And then for men, it tends to sound fried and raspy. It's something. Yeah, I can't do it. But yeah. People being smoking since 14, they're 50 and more. Black don't crack. People still look at me as 15 and I'm 29. Wait. I thought that at most you might be like 21. So much blessing. Yeah, always take care of yourself. How about the 60s? People were smoking like it was candy. So many celebrities died from cancer of smoking. Yeah, so I guess like I have stated before here on the channel, it takes a trend, a pattern, and a major disaster for us to realize things and create warnings and whatever. My body is indeed breaking down, but it is from partying, fighting, and free running. My lungs are okay. My liver, meh. Oh, wow. Well, at least you seem to be living a full life. I think that above all, that's what's most important. Um, and if it's something that benefits you more than you feel like it's harming you, then hey, you have smoker's immortality. Good for you for having good lungs. I wish I had good lungs. Only now am I able to somewhat lightly jog for more than 5 minutes. To me, that is a major accomplishment because I am not a good runner. I can lift all day long, I can lift my life away, but running, I've never been good at it. Um, I can walk forever and even have inclines, but I have to alternate my pace. So for me to be able to jog for a few minutes more, it's exciting. Super exciting. Um, where am I at? I am a casual smoker. I smoke when I drink. I tend to not smoke when I am sober. I see. I have heard of people who smoke socially. Like, I hear that my father used to do it when he was younger, and my mother did try smoking, but she never picked up the habit, thank God. But yeah, that's interesting. It seems to be like you can be influenced by other factors, and I tend to not be conscious about that. Like, there's people who also say that they drink socially. I can understand that. I do not see how drinking has a chemical in it or an ingredient in it that would make you addicted to it. Like, I know that cigarettes, I'm looking for nicotine. I know that's what makes it addictive. But when it comes to alcohol, like, what's in it that could make you addicted? Because I know maybe it's the coping effect from it being a depressant, except that people claim that when they drink it, they actually feel euphoric. But you know, at a chemical level, it means that it is a depressant for your body physically, but for your mind, apparently, it's not. um, but but yeah, I guess it really depends on the person. Um, what's going to be perceived as negative for me is not going to be negative for you. So, again, just like I said, if it really makes you feel good, then go ahead and do it. But I would try to discourage a loved one from doing it since I know the dangers of it. Um, and I would also try to help them find an alternative. Like, if you recur to a bad habit because you are stressed out, like me, I tend to eat a lot when I'm stressed out, and then I end up gaining weight, which it's hard to perceive because I still like to go all out at the gym, but you know, sometimes we fall victims to certain traps. So if it's stress that you're struggling with, there's more stuff out there, I'm sure, that we can recur to cope with that, as opposed to these substances, you know. But again, everyone is entitled to do their own thing. Just don't invite me on a smoking date because I am not interested. I'm just not. I remember back in the 90s, Emery, do you remember candy of cigarettes? Yeah, it's they look like really skinny. They look like the lollipops sticks type of deal, and you could like chew on it and it would turn dusty and stuff. Yeah, I remember that. I hope those are the ones you're talking about. To open the box and blow the smoke out, then it's called candy cigarettes. Yep, that sounds about right. I never really blew the smoke out of it. I just straight up bit it. When it's cold outside, I was faking I was smoking, seeing the air. So much fun. You know what? My mother, funny story about my mother. This was about a year, 2 years ago. She was out at night at a gas station. She was pumping her gas. A cop pulls over and looks at her, and she is doing something stupid. I mean, she is standing there, and it was so cold that she started playing with her breath. She was like, trying to see what kind of shapes she could make with the smoke, like how far the smoke could travel, how, like, what's the word? How extra dense she could make the smoke, I guess. Like, the if you breathe and exhale lightly, it looks like a hazy type of effect. But if you do like a heavy breath, it's like more concentrated. So the cop decides to go up to her and ask her, "Ma'am, are you smoking? Because you're not supposed to smoke at a pump." And then she like turns around and she starts like flaking out. And she's like, no, I am literally just playing with my breath. And the cop was looking at her like she was just crazy. And I thought it was funny because my mom is one of those people who turns anything into a game. It's astonishing for me. But like her reaction was just priceless. She was like, no, no, this and that. And I'm like, get it together. You're being confronted by an officer. So you are making yourself suspicious with that behavior, you know? But anyways, it's something that you're not thinking about. You see something, you're bored doing something mundane like pumping gas. So you want to make that time pass as fast as possible. So I thought, like, I couldn't believe that that had happened, but knowing my mom, stuff just happens to her and only her. So I was not surprised, but I just thought it was hilarious because it's like she just couldn't spit it out. I'm like, just tell him what's happening, you know? But she was just like, oh, like she couldn't get it together, and I just thought it was hysterical, so entertaining. um, Work on your breathing when you run. Take steady, deep breaths when you jog. You need to find out how to get your second wind. when jogging, you could go for like 2 hours if you get a second wind. You know what? I have been practicing with that because I had heard people say that the trick is on how you breathe, something about you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth and something like that. And I'm like, because I am not used to doing that, I have to train myself and create the habit of doing that. But ever since I became more aware and conscious of my breathing, that's when I noticed that my performance was improving. So, so yeah, thanks for reminding me on that. But every time I jog now, I am so conscious about it, but I feel like thinking about it too hard may be interfering with my concentration. And now the problem I am having is that I have the experience of the phantom lack of fitness, which is what I'm trying to say by that is because I used to be bad at running, even though now I have the capacity to keep going, I want to give up at around the time that I would regularly give up, even though I can keep going. And then in my mind, I'm making excuses. I'm like, no, because my asthma can kick in. I don't have an inhaler, or I'm going to start feeling pain, and oh, my side is going to hurt, this and that. And I'm like, no, there's no symptom of that. That's my mind getting ahead of itself, anticipating the symptoms that I used to experience, but although they're not there, it pretends that they're there, and then I stop, and then I cannot keep training anymore. So it's like, I guess it's when you get injured, and like one time I busted my ankle really bad, and I do not remember how it healed. It was like one morning I could just suspend myself on it, like rest my entire weight on it. And I was anticipating that when I would go up and down stairs that I was going to experience the pain. And then I'm like, wait, my foot actually works. My ankle works like it's supposed to. So why am I still like crippling? You know, it's something psychological. So I need to overcome that as well. That I keep getting in my own way without meaning to. Let's see. Yes, I remember the good old days. Your mother is so funny. Oh yeah, my mom is so funny. I wish that I could stream with her, but we never have like um a schedule that agrees with each other. So yeah, I guess I can be like, Mommy, you should request a day off and make a show with me. People want to meet you. I'm sure she would be down for it. But she's kind of shy and initially like she can be totally socially awkward just like me, but she would get used to it, I'm sure. Or I can be like, Mommy, you don't have to show up on on the viewfinder. Just hang out with me. Da, da, da. And then you would be able to hear her just telling me stuff like, Zam, are you going to work? Remember to pack one more goddamn cookie, this and that, uh, I am like I'm pushing 30 somewhat, and mom is still telling me how to pack my lunch and stuff. If I am dating a female who hates smoking, I can easily give it up and won't smoke or let her smell smoke on me. I don't think I am addicted to the point I cannot quit. Interesting. You just brought up something that I intended to discuss, which is it okay for you to sacrifice something for someone? Does that compromise a relationship in any way? Is that trying to change a person when they don't want to? But then what if you want to? But then what if you want to, but deep down you wish you didn't have to give that up to please someone? So that's interesting. I definitely would applaud that. I admire that about you. I want to say that as someone who doesn't have habits or anything bad that I can think of that would accommodate a guy, I cannot say that I would be put in that situation, but maybe something that a guy might say is something. What could they say? Um, Maybe don't cuss or don't be so profane, because sometimes when I get like mad, I start saying, a stream of profanity. And even when I stream and vlog sometimes, I have my videos in which I'm just upset and I just let it all out. But if a guy decided to just tell me that they mind me cussing, I could try to be more considerate around them, but there comes a point in which I feel like it's limiting my personality. So if it's going to be a problem, I don't think we need to be together. Because if you like someone, why are you trying to change them? So, yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting. I know that can go in a completely different direction, but I just loved how you said that. I admire that. I admire that. Candy cigarettes blast from the past. Candy 6 tasted like trash. You know what? That is so true. Because I liked to hype it like, look at me, I'm chewing cigarettes and whatnot. But in the grand scheme of things, that thing was a bland. It had a taste that you simply cannot compare to anything. Um, And now that I think about it, what the hell was I eating? What are the ingredients on that thing? How much sugar did that have? So now I'm curious about all that. You took me on a trip to the past for sure. Nothing wrong to be silly. I love the story. I can blow rings with my cigarette puff. Oh my god, I have never seen someone do that in real life, but I have seen it in cartoons and movies and yeah, that's interesting to me. That seems like a skill from another planet. I need to run again so much healthy. I love to run in the cold. Running in the cold is so awesome. I feel like I breathe better. Even though I don't do it outdoors, when I do go outside and do something remotely resembling exercise, such as parking on one end to get to the store and then I try to speed walk. That can be challenging, Sometimes the stores are busy and I have to park like all the way pretty much at home to get to the store. So I'm like, why the hell did I drive? Had I known that, I would have just walked here. But at the same time, I don't want to carry all them shopping bags, which I'm not someone who has to haul a lot of bags and stuff because I like to keep stuff replenished throughout the week. But but sometimes I do have to go on my shopping sprees if I have been lazy and not getting my stuff together. So situations like that, I'm like, yeah, I need something to push this stuff for me. I ain't carrying it. And I'm one of those people who, no matter what, the stuff that I'm bringing into the house, it can weigh 700 pounds. I am only doing one trip. Even if I lose my back, my waist, my arms, my biceps, even if I fall apart, you better believe I'm only doing one trip from my car, which is parked like no more than 2 yards away from the front door. I am bringing everything in one round. Something about going back outside to get the remainder of my bags, grocery bags, is just upsetting for me. So even if I am, like I said, falling apart, I only do one fucking trip. One! Huh. Oh man. Is anyone out there like that? Do you guys do that? Do you just abhor the idea of going back out once you're inside the house, or do you like to actually take care of your body if you don't have enough strength for everything, like you have maybe 10 gallons of water and not enough hands, do you have patience and go back to the car? Because I fucking don't. But then again, I never have 10 gallons of water. But even if I did, I would try to bring it all in one round. I would love to meet your mom. I want to know what my future mother in law looks like. Oh my god, dude. Wow, you're 30? Not quite, but nearing it. Nearing it. Exact age is confidential information. But yeah, almost there. My mother stopped smoking while my mother was having a baby in the 80s, so yeah, blessed news. If you have asthma, make sure you bring your inhaler and things that help your asthma when jogging. Yeah, honestly, I never got an inhaler again. My asthma was not too bad, and I feel like maybe the reason I am not in better shape physically, like optimal able to run forever and stuff is because I was afraid of not, like my asthma getting out of control. And then I said, you know what? Let me just exercise in other ways that do not involve so much lung activity. And that way I don't have to risk crashing. And you guys know that I just do whatever to avoid the doctor's office. But I haven't ever in recent years, like pretty much when my adolescence ended, I didn't have as much problems with it. But I'm not saying that I'm immune to it, but I feel like I breathe so much better these days, for sure. Um, Wait, you are 30? Nope, not quite, but one of these years, not too far away. No wonder I like you. We are from the same generation. Friday the movie is about smoking. It's more than that, but it's a fun movie comedy 1995. It doesn't ring a bell right now. You know that Zam doesn't watch movies. But as someone from the 90s, I should. Like someone who grew up in the 90s, I should. I hate the smell of the smoke on my face when people smoke, cannot even breathe. Oh, God, yeah, yeah, oh. Not only that, these people, they're like coffee drinkers. The more that a person smokes, the closer to their face that they want to get. It's like, no, don't get close to your face. Your breath is already compromised. Your your scent is already compromised. I don't need you close to my face. Don't. Like with your coffee breath and cigarettes like breath, and what if you smoke and on top of that you drink coffee, like that after smell, after taste of coffee, just good lord, no. No, too many chemicals coming together, just no, no. The more you're touching your hair, it's getting longer and longer and longer. Never stop touching your hair. You know what? I think that's what it is. I'm just so shocked at how long it's gotten. Like, I could pretty much completely extend my hand and it would be that long. Yeah, I am surprised. This is the longest I have ever had it. Like, it is either an inch or half an inch away from, like, where is it? I think it's down to my waist already. It's starting to go below my waist. I think that's how it goes. Yeah, that is how it goes. It's at my waist now. So I'm like, yeah, as soon as it exceeds my waist, I'm going to trim the ends. I just want to experience it because I never even knew that my hair could get that long. But all of my grandmas had long hair, so I'm like, why can I not do it? I inherited the good shit, the good genes. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. When I started making videos, I feel like it was this long. Let's turn it into the let's turn this into a hair stream. Yeah, it was about this long, and now it went. Now it doesn't even fit on the screen unless I'm at a distance. But yeah, when the weather gets warmer, it'll look a whole lot better because now it's cold, so it's dull and not as shiny as usual. And yeah, it'll come back to life. I know there are fans of my hair out there, so I don't want to let you guys down. Never. um, let's see, where am I at? When I was in the military and me and my platoon were jogging in the cold, that when we stopped, you could see steam from our body from the cold and wind that made a cloud in the wind. My boyfriend, when we used to work out really late at night, like until 9 or 10, and we would come home straight from the gym. Like, we used to not take a shower or anything at the gym, and he looked like he was a super saiyan. I mean, he had like the stuff. I never even considered that. It's like, dude, you are on fire. Like, within 5 minutes, he is already a waterfall of sweat. And I'm like, dude, are you okay? because it's like he can lift pretty much everything at the heaviest setting at the gym, and I'm over there struggling with 20 pounds. And it's like, what do you do to where your sweat glands are just on fire? I feel like I don't have sweat glands, and I am working pretty damn hard, but he used to sweat, and he still like sweats like serious business. It's like he probably loses like 5 gallons of water through his sweat. And I'm like, dude, I'm so glad that you're good at drinking water, but to me that was so astonishing. Like one night we were just out chilling. It was like a 40-degree night, 30-degree night or something, and I could see all that stuff, and I'm like, what is in the air? Why does it look foggy and cloudy? And it looks cloudy here, but when I turn around, I don't see anything. Is there like hair behind my lenses again? Like sometimes hair gets right there and I just have to like struggle to get it out, and I'm like, no, because that's not the physics of hair being on my face. And then it just hit me. I'm like, dude, it's coming from you. It's like your pores are like tiny noses, and they're all exhaling right now at the same time. And you're generating this aura to you. Like, yeah, it's like you're a damn Super Saiyan. I called him the Super Saiyan. And then after that, he started saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm turning into a Super Saiyan." And I'm like, nah, you need a shower. That's what you need. But yeah, it was just so like for me, unbelievable. I know I won't sweat like that. I will not get to be a Super Saiyan. But yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that because it hit me. It hit me. Please put your mother alive with you. It'd be so much fun. Want to meet your brother and mother too. I feel like my brother might make an appearance sooner than she will, and he is not even in the same state. But I'm sure he would be down for it, except that when we used to, when we were growing up together, he was a shy cookie. So if I was shy, and I got over it. I'm sure that he got over it because hello, he has had to do stuff like talking to a group of people. So if you're still shy by now, I'm gonna be so disappointed. But yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to bring people into my streams. I have so many good, amazing, funny people in my life, and I'm like, yeah, we need our own show. Like we all need to create some kind of channel and call ourselves something epic, and just put content out there because our whole lives could be such a good reality show. Maybe not a reality show like that, but just telling stories. Everyone has such interesting stories to tell. And not only is the content of the story, but the way they narrate stories. That misses to die for. So don't worry, guys. I have some plans for that near future. It's just, it takes time to put it together because everyone's life is different. Everyone has their crazy schedules going on, but yeah, there's stuff that I've been thinking about. You just give a girl a little more time. uh, my uncle was smoking so much I walked into his house and thought his house was on fire. Your hair is beautiful. Gonna be a TV commercial. Super hair. That's your hair is called. Your hair can beat up all the bad guys of comic books. It's like I can compete with that Tangled character from like that Tangled movie. You guys know what I'm talking about? I think it's Disney. I used to smoke weed about 5 times per day from age 13 to 23. I have iron lungs and my sense of smell has gotten better. Fantastic. 5 times average. My power level went over 9,000. Yeah, dude, you were just leveling up. There was just no limit to you. You were lit. Ah, you and your boyfriend are so blessed. My power level is only 9. It's fine, Sam. Yeah, yes. Be epic TV show. 9. Eat more meat and do man push-ups. It should raise your power level to 69. 60 power levels. Yeah, apparently we're not waking up our power level. We need to become woke. That is totally not what woke means in modern days, but anyways. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'm about to hit the 1 hour mark, and your girl has to get up early for her little usual shift in the morning. It was fun and entertaining. I was so happy to hang out with you and put out my thoughts, and I hope that all of you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And I will continue to be present, and especially at nighttime. I see that most people can catch me better at nighttime. Night can be challenging for me, but sometimes I do have the time, so I'm going to try to be here more often at different times to give everyone a chance to be here. So yeah, you guys. Again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I shall see you soon. Tomorrow, it's possible that I won't be here because I got stuff to do right after I get off work, and I'm not sure at what time I'll come back. So yeah.